Hi, welcome to Vegetables Day 165. Now, of course, this was supposed to be day 165 of videos, but it's basically become just whatever day in the year it is because I'm not doing so hot. uh, The biggest problem is I feel like I ran out of content. And when I planned out my content, like menu planning Monday, well, menu planning didn't really work for me. Foodie Friday, which, I'll still have those once in a while, but being able to buy or make something every Friday was just not possible. Between appointments for myself, my mother, Scott, and our grandson, my weekdays are pretty booked up. And then, of course, I've gone through some periods where I haven't felt well. My foot hurt. Now, it stopped hurting for a little while, but unfortunately, I did the treadmill yesterday for 30 minutes. Yay! But now my foot hurts again. So, whatever is wrong with it, which the doctor thinks it's bursitis, apparently the treadmill aggravated it, made my foot angry again. So, I don't know what I'm going to do. I want to use it every single day. I'll probably try again when my new shoes get here. I did order some new athletic shoes. And so they should be here tomorrow. And I'll try that or try those to see if that makes a difference with my foot and with my walking. As far as my health, the big news is two things. Okay, so, well, three things, two current things. So, as you might know, I have not been on my cancer meds for 10 months now. Almost, 10 months. September, October, November, December, January, March, April, May, June. Yeah, 10 months. Yay. And my goal, of course, is to get rid of all my medicine, if at all possible. I probably will never be able to get rid of the thyroid medicine, but I don't seem to be having a lot of negative side effects with that. And of course, I'll always take a B12, and I will always take vitamin D. Vitamin D, I have gone vegan with that because most of them, they're the little yellow, clear, or see-through pills, and that's gelatin. So I've gone vegan with that. And the cardiologist said I'll always have to take aspirin. I beckon to differ on that one. We'll see what happens once I lose the weight. But the two things is, and I think I already mentioned this before, the first one, and that is that I'm no longer taking my proton pump inhibitor. Yes, I have been asking the doctor for 5 years to take me off this medicine. And his office, it's sitting at the Walgreens now for me, but his office took 2 weeks. 2 weeks to send that to Walgreens. And they didn't send it until such time as I contacted them and said, hey, Walgreens has been looking for it. But in that same email, I asked him, I said that I don't want to take this anymore. You mentioned before when I was almost forced to stop my proton pump inhibitor last fall, because the cancer doctor was afraid that my cancer was going to return. And it hasn't, yay. But the medicine that the cancer doctor wanted to put me on, I could not take that with a proton pump inhibitor. And so I was going to switch from the proton pump inhibitor to Pepcid back then. And I didn't get, the cancer doctor didn't put me on that medicine, so I didn't switch. So I got to thinking, okay, if it was okay with him last time, last fall, why wouldn't it be okay with him now? So I just asked him, hey, can I switch? And he said, as long as it helps control your symptoms. And so I'm like, okay. So I've now been without the proton pump inhibitor for almost a month. And even the Pepcid, it says you can take it up to two times a day. I haven't had it in 3 days. I occasionally will have to have some Tums right before I go to bed. But so far, knock on wood, my knock on wood, and that is made of wood underneath the laminate. But at any rate, I haven't had any problems. The second one is, and I think I mentioned this before, I talked to a cardiologist, and I was on metoprolol tartrate. And I was only on 25 milligrams a day. But it was just making me so tired all the time. I mean, I would sleep 8 hours at night. I would get up, and by 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, I was tired and I had to take a nap again. And I'm like, I cannot, so that's 10-12 hours a day I was sleeping. And I told him, I said, I can't sleep my life away. And so I asked him, what do I need to do to take it off? And he says, you can just stop it abruptly. So I haven't had that for 3 days. And knock on wood, I haven't had any problems with heart palpitations, which is why he put me on it in the first place. Which, heart palpitations is a side effect of the cancer medicine I was on. And I don't recall having them very frequently until after I started taking the cancer medicine. Or if I had them before, they definitely got worse. So, I am seeing some changes. Even if I'm not losing a ton of weight, I am starting to see changes in my health. And the last 3 days have been extremely productive for me. And except for today because of my foot. And I did lay down and start watching TV, but I think I fell asleep just because of what I was watching, not because I was actually tired. So happy. That's 3 medicines. 3. Count them. 3. That I am no longer taking. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to not have to take those anymore, or to have to restart them. I'm going to get to exercise. I'm going to lose the weight, but most importantly, I am going to eat as healthy a diet as I can. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to be perfect by any means. As an example, today I did have McDonald's for lunch. And after dinner, I had a sugar-free chocolate. But for breakfast, I had oatmeal with no dairy. And for dinner, I had acorn squash with a new combination of bird's eye that I found. It's potatoes, sweet potatoes, broccoli, and cauliflower. And the broccoli and cauliflower are just little bitty florets, so almost riced, but not quite riced. And then the two types of potato were julienne. So I had that with an acorn squash, and the acorn squash came with two dried apricots and a handful of craisins and a handful of walnuts, or no, pecans. And so I took the skin off the acorn squash, mixed that all together, and the only thing I put on it was a tiny bit of hot sauce, Frank's hot sauce. This may sound weird, but tiny bit of Frank's hot sauce and a tiny bit of balsamic vinegar. And I just enjoyed the flavor of the vegetables with nothing on them. Oh, wait a minute. I think the bird's eye may have had salt and pepper on it. I'll have to look into that. It may have had salt and pepper. But if it did, it wasn't much. So, breakfast and lunch, 2 out of 3. There's that song, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. All 3 would be better, but 2 out of 3 ain't bad. And then, as far as an update, I know it's not weighing Wednesday yet, but I did weigh myself into this morning, and I was 236.2. So, I'm getting there. Slowly, but I'm getting there. And I'm feeling better. So, the other thing I wanted to talk about today is a product review. It is of this. Let's see if I can stretch it out so you can, you probably can't see it. But if you can't see it and don't know what it is Lewis Bake Shop, their Healthy Life Keto 0 grams of net carbs per slice bread. If you can call it that. This bread is absolutely awful. I wrote the company and asked for a refund because it's almost $5 a loaf. And that's even at Walmart. When you open the bag, let me get this out for you. But when you open the bag and you take out a piece, the first thing you see and feel is how dense it is. Very, very, very dense. But yet it's also spongy. It's not soft. I mean, it's soft, but it's not soft like bread. It's spongy. I mean, if you could feel this, you'd say, yep, that's a sponge. The crust here is not flaky at all. It's very, very smooth all the way around and almost glossy. Almost like it has polyurethane on it. I guess. I don't know. It's just really, really smooth and it, yeah. And then when you tear it, even when you tear it, see, it like, It's like super stretchy. Look how much I can stretch it without even tearing. And you squish it. I don't know if it showed up yet. It showed it. You squish it, and it doesn't stay squished. That's how spongy this bread is. It tasted like pure plastic. I would rather chew on a plastic straw than to eat a piece of that bread. I mean, at least a plastic straw is tasteless. I mean, it just tasted like, I mean, not even, I don't, it was just a pure 100% artificial chemical taste to it. 100%. So, like I said, I wrote the company and I asked them for the refund. And we'll see what they say. But yeah, usually I finish something I purchased. Not this. It's definitely going in the garbage. I'll save it until the company gets back to us, though, just in case there's something else they want off the package. Or in some cases, you know, companies will, depending on how consumers describe the issue that they had with it, sometimes the companies will ask for it back. So I'll save it till they contact me. Well, that's the video for today. I hope that you enjoyed hearing the update, and get something out of the feedback on the bread. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you know when I upload my next video. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.